There are two things that motivate a human being to do anything, whether it's work, working out, exercising, studying, reading, delaying gratification in any place in your life. The first is psychological and the second is biological, okay? What I'm going to do in this video is explain the psychology and biology of low motivation and why you just don't feel very motivated and why, when you do, you feel it for a very short period of time. My name is Charlie Morgan. I am not a doctor or a scientist. I am an online entrepreneur who has made over $40 million in my career in the last 10 years of working online. In that time, I've built quite a large business in the space, 8-figure business, and doing that has required me to be extremely motivated. I have read hundreds of books. I've worked out very consistently. I've gone to bed on time. Like I've eaten clean. Like I've pretty much had my, let's say, ducks in a row from a behavioral standpoint for over a decade. And the result of that discipline or that motivation to be disciplined is pretty much a good life. I'm wealthy, successful, all these cool things, but not that you care about that. But the point is I've practiced this so I can share it with you. First of all, we'll start with the biology. Motivation is not, it's very rarely a psychological phenomenon, because the psychological motivation to act, like this is the thing, is motivation is basically just motion with Asian in there, right? It's motion, it's movement, it's doing something. And so if you're motivated, it means that you are motivated to act on something. The thing is that there's lots of different emotions. Get it? Energy in motion, action, right? There's lots of different emotions that drive behavior. And so you can be motivated because you're angry. You can be motivated because you're sad. You can be motivated because of, a myriad of emotional reasons. And so the familiar sort of feeling that you feel of being motivated is typically a positive experience. But the problem is that sort of motivation, this sort of like sudden bubbling up of energy and willpower at 3 a.m. that you experience to start doing push-ups and shadowboxing in your room is not very reliable, right? What you want to do instead is find the nasty negative emotions that you're avoiding, feel them, and then understand and recognize that the reason those emotions exist is probably because you don't really have something in your life that you want, and then attach that emotion to the thing that is making you suffer. And so let me explain a couple of things. These things go hand in hand. That's the psychological part. The reason you do things from a psychological perspective, because that's what we're trying to do here, is learn how to do things. It's get in the gym, journal, read, exercise, study, whatever the thing you're trying to be motivated to do is. The reason we do things is because the result of doing them gives us something we need. Now, this can happen on a biological level. For example, your motivation to walk 10 miles to find a well you can drink from. Let's say you're in the desert and you're thirsty and you're going to die of thirst. You're going to be very motivated to partake the action of walking to the well because you're going to die if you don't. By the same notion of, you might be motivated to go and talk to that cute girl on the street because there is a sexual motivation behind that. That's a biological, imperative, if you like. In the same way that if you really need to go to the bathroom, if you really need to piss, that's English for what do you say? Take a leak, I believe you'd say in America. You don't need to conjure up some crazy level of motivation to just go to the bathroom, because your body will hijack your behavior. But something I've always thought is that identity will trump biology in command over the body. And what that basically means is you can override your biological motivation mechanisms with your identity and with your sense of self. And that's a whole story for another day. Back to the point. Psychologically, if you want to be motivated, you have to understand, what am I running away from? Every human being on this planet, I don't care who you are, where you are, how old you are, where you're from, you are fundamentally running away from something. Every time you pull up your phone to start scrolling on shorts, every time you pick up a bottle of alcohol, every time you pick up a cigarette, every time you watch porn, every time you play video games, you are running away from something. All of these instant gratification behaviors, what they're doing is they're basically numbing you so that you don't have to experience something. Like, let me ask you a question here. When was the last time that you sat with your thoughts for more than an hour? And I'm not talking about meditation or reading or watching a movie. When there was no stimulus and there was no intention behind the 60-minute slot that you've given yourself, and you just sat there. Like, people are very bad at doing that. okay? And so the reason that you struggle with motivation for a large part is because of all of the instant gratification behaviors that you partake in. And let me explain this. First of all, the first way to become really motivated, like I said, is the psychology thing. Find out what you're running away from. Find out, like, were you bullied? Were you abused? All these things. And what you'll find is that if you just stop numbing yourself and you allow yourself to feel that emotion, you will feel the need to have motion, okay? Emotions, pain is the single greatest driver of human behavior. If you want to feel like you need to do something, just put yourself in some pain. There's a reason why when you need to go to the bathroom, you experience pain. If like, I'm not saying that I experience bathroom-related pain, but you get my point. It kind of hurts a little bit if you hold urine in for too long. Your body starts causing you pain to try and get you to release it. Same thing, like if you've eaten something bad, you feel really nauseous and your body will communicate, and then you find a bathroom, you throw up, whatever. Same thing with like if you're really sexually frustrated, it's painful. Same thing if you're really thirsty, it's painful. So your body runs on pain, and your body and your biology recognizes pain as a signal to move. And the reason that so many of you aren't working or studying or working out is simply because you don't have any psychological justification for doing it, because anytime you feel any sort of negative emotion, you just bury it with video games or short form content or your vape. Any time something starts creeping in, you toke that thing, or you play that game, or you watch that porn, or whatever it is. There is infinite energy and infinite power locked away, it not even in your unconscious. Like, you'll become pretty aware and cognitively aware of the problem at hand here if you just fucking pay attention. Just let it bubble up. Sit with your own thoughts for a few hours. Notice the discomfort, notice the pain, notice what it is. Does it make you feel anxious? Do you feel angry? And it will communicate itself to you in an emotion. But what will happen, beautifully so, is that if you just sit in that emotion for long enough, your body, if you restrict the ability for it to go to numbing behaviors like smoking, alcohol, video games, whatever, your body will find another way to resolve the pain. And that is typically going to be productive, right? If you just say, right, I cannot use any vice-related behavior to eliminate this pain, then your body and your mind has no choice but to go to the things actually going to solve it. So let's say right now that you're really overweight. Let's say you're an overweight person, you're fat in short form, right? And you need to go to the gym, you need to work out, you need to eat clean, but you just don't feel motivated. It's like, well, that's because every time that you look in the mirror and feel insecure, or every time you become triggered because you're fat, or because like you become insecure or self-conscious, you just start scrolling, or you just start vaping, or you just start gaming, or you just start eating junk food. Like, all these things, all of these instant pleasures are a way for you to run away from the most psychologically distressing thing in your life, which is this idea that you're insecure and overweight. And it's impossible, I promise you, it's basically impossible to feel any level of motivation to change your circumstances and act out on this thing if you don't have a reason to do so. And the reason exists in you, you've just buried it underneath this massive layer of pleasure that you have to wade through to actually figure out what's going on. That's the first thing. So when we're talking about low motivation, that's the first place to attack. Is just stop doing all the things that numb you, listen to the emotion, and just let it carry your behavior in a more positive way, okay? And then you'll start learning to cope with your overweightness or whatever it is through the way that you should, which is exercise, diet, calorie deficit, walking, sports, the good stuff. You're still doing the same thing, you're just running away from the pain, but quite literally are running away from the pain. The second thing is your biology. And when I refer to your biology, I'm referring specifically to your dopamine system. Okay, so inside of your brain, and you should probably know this because you're probably somewhat, aware of how this stuff works. Inside your brain, you have a system that runs on a chemical called dopamine. Okay, dopamine is the neurotransmitter of anticipation. It's an anticipatory neurochemical mechanism. What that means in English is it anticipates the reward of pleasure. And so this is the thing that basically is, we have, I wouldn't say it's unique to us as humans, but it's pretty prevalent. We chase dopamine. And not only that, but, we receive extreme pleasure from novel stimuli. Like, for example, I don't have any short form content on my phone, but I could pull up my phone and start scrolling on Instagram, and tomorrow it would feel just as pleasurable as it did today. Okay, sometimes even more. And this is how addictions work. And so the second reason as to why you're very demotivated is because you have completely burned out your dopamine system. Now, an important thing to understand is this. Pretty much every action you do in life, if it results in something happening that is positive, is going to bring you dopamine, okay? Like, I've been able to calm my dopamine system down to the point where reading a book is exciting because I don't know what's going to happen next, or to the point where watching a movie from the 1980s is exciting because I don't know what's going to happen next, or working is exciting because I don't know what's going to happen next. And so what you can learn to do, if you just learn, it's the same principle, the psychological principle and the biological principle are the same. You have to get rid of all the instant gratification behaviors, okay? Like, let me ask you this question, okay? There is dopamine to be derived from exercise. There is dopamine to be derived and obtained from work. There is dopamine to be obtained from meditation, from reading, from all these good things. They do produce dopamine. They do feel good to do. They just do not feel anywhere near as good in comparison to the instant pleasures that are at your fingertips or available to you. Short form content, pornography, scrolling, I don't know, even watching self-help videos on YouTube, video games, like smoking, vaping, drinking, like there's a junk food is a big one. Like, those things feel so good, like to your neurochemical system on a biological level. Your brain loves those activities because your brain, by the way, can't, on a biological level, it can only comprehend like the next minute. It doesn't really have your biology doesn't really have an understanding of how time works. It doesn't even know if tomorrow's going to come around, so it might as well maximize today. That's how your brain works. But very simple premise. How can you expect your brain, because this is the thing, is you're negotiating with a 3 million year old mechanism here, right? So if you imagine you tried to argue with an old person before, they're very stuck in their ways. You cannot argue with your brain. You have to just rewire it. How can you expect to feel motivation? And what is motivation from a biological level? It is a feeling of anticipation. Like, how can you, like, it's pleasure derived from anticipation. Like, how can you expect your brain to deprive pleasure from anticipation of work or the gym or studying? Like, and to lock itself onto a future time horizon. Like, if I study now, I'll get a better grade. If I work now, I'll make more money. If I go to the gym, I will look better. That's where the dopamine system's coming in from. Like, but just the reward is a little bit delayed, right? But how can you expect it to want to do those things which are very low on the dopaminergic stimulation threshold when your brain is so used to all these other things? It's like, I'll give you an example. If I ever go on a junk food binge, which might happen once a quarter, every 3 months, I'll spend like a week or a few days where I just eat rubbish, like as much sugar as I want, just rubbish food. And I'll do that, and it's not very good for me. But I do it once a quarter, and then I'm like back to my normal healthy diet. But then what will happen after that is I'll go and eat like a steak with no sauce and no sugar and no fries. And that steak is just so fucking boring. But if I only eat steaks for, I don't know, like 2 weeks, then suddenly I start looking forward to the steaks again. And so the point is that you've got to get rid of all these instant gratification behaviors because they are completely frying your dopamine system, which means when you have to sit down to do something that isn't anywhere near as stimulating as other things, you just don't want to do it. Your brain's like, look, you've put this in front of me. I could be doing X, Y, Z, A, B, C instead. You're giving me P. I don't want to do P. It's fucking boring. And then, naturally you feel this incredible resistance. And when you pair this biological function with the psychological function, they feed back on themselves. Because what starts to happen is you then use these things as a coping mechanism to deal with the pain and bury away the negative emotions, which means you have no real psychological reason to actually do the thing that you know you need to do. And then on top of that, every time you engage in the coping mechanism, you reinforce doing it. And you get this sort of flywheel of like, bury the pain, increase the pleasure. Bury the pain, increase the pleasure. After a while, what happens in your brain is you sit down to do something that is meaningfully productive, like read or study or work or whatever, and then you're just like, I haven't got any motivation to do this. It's like, of course you don't. You've just spent the last 48, 24, 72 hours, week, month, year, decade conditioning your brain to expect a high level of stimulation. So of course you're not motivated. How could you be? It's like people who have really bad video game addictions and they want to start businesses because having a video game addiction and being a business owner, they're very, very similar things. Like business becomes a game, and but the psychological energy that is transferred through both those means, being games and being business, is very similar. So a lot of gamers want to start a business, but they go to start the business and they can't. And they just can't seem to get themselves to do the work because their brain is so wired to clicking. It's not very painful to do this. Like clicking a button, clicking your mouse, it doesn't suck. It doesn't require any energy or any sacrifice, but you receive instantaneous pleasure in real time from the game. So you click a button, you obtain a fucking, I don't know, like a new gun, or you kill someone, or it feels like fun. It's like, oh, your brain starts. But then what your brain does is it now wires an instantaneous click to a reward. Click, reward, click, reward, click, reward. What is business? Business is 10,000 clicks before even a minuscule amount of reward. It's pretty accurate, right? Probably even more than 10,000, millions of clicks before you're going to start making money. That's my take. If you're watching this and you are wanting to start your own business and you're like, I want to start a business and I want to make money, but I don't know where to start, there is a link in the description that I would encourage you to click. It's completely free. I've got a program called Imperium Academy, completely free training program. It's a 6-week program. It's going to help you make money online, get your first couple of clients online. It works really well. There's 60,000 people in there. There's no credit card or anything. I built it because I was bored for a year. And it will explain this mindset stuff in a lot more detail. Check it out if you want. I'll see you there. Cheers.